Today we're looking at the 2020 Lexus RX350, and there's been a mild refresh to this.
All right, let's just start with, could they make the grille any bigger?
It's pretty big.
Now they have modified it though, right?
Yeah, they've modified it, and I think the biggest thing for me is that the vehicle just looks softer looking. It had more of an extreme look, and although it is still that angular styling, it looks softer, and I think I see it at the headlight area.
Yeah, also on this area here, they curved it in a little bit. They make it look more streamlined.
Absolutely. So I think generally they've done a nice job with the look of it now.
Well, you have to actually like this real sharp look. I remember going to the launch of this vehicle years ago, and when we saw it, it was with all the super sharp lines. They actually said Akio Toyota, who is the company's named after his grandfather, without the D, they decided to actually make it sharper at the very last moment. Here's an interesting story. About a month before they had final sign-off on the design, Akio Toyota came into the design studio and said, "It's not edgy enough. I want crisper lines, a little bit more detail." So they rushed back and fine-tuned the design to come up with this.
Right.
That was his decision to make it really quite assertive looking. What I like about the RX though, and we like, is this size of vehicle, right?
Yes.
It's not the compact, but
No.
it's not a big 3-row, it's just in the middle.
It's a good compromise. You're getting the space, but it does feel like you're driving a car.
LED headlamps. This one is the F Sport. There's different tiers of F Sport. So F Sport is the sportier look. You get unique looking headlamps, unique looking tail lamps. You get these fancier looking wheels. It's for someone who likes to have a Lexus, but with a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's go for a drive.
This video is brought to you by Car Cost Canada. Get the dealer's cost, list of rebates, plus discounted interest rates. Use the promo code MOTORMOUTH to become an expert member and get extra searches. The link is in the description below.
All right, what are we in here? Are we
I was
in
gonna say, is it
Eco or Sport?
What is it in?
It's in Sport.
That's
And-
my favorite, Sport.
And you even have Sport Plus.
Yeah.
Ooh, more.
I think I had it on Sport Plus.
And the thing is, the big difference between this F Sport and the regular RX350 is the fact that you get the adaptive suspension. And I think if it was me, I would probably opt for that because it's important to me.
For sure, and it just provides a much firmer ride. I prefer it. I didn't enjoy it as much, to be honest with you, and I think it says comfort.
Yeah, the regular mode?
Yeah, I didn't love it.
See, you're like me. You like it a little sportier.
I like it sportier. I like it firmer.
And here's the thing is, that outside you said was edgy, right?
Yes, angular.
And what do you think of this inside?
The inside's different, isn't it? It's
It is different. You know what? That's a good way to put it. Because so many cars look the same.
Yeah.
This doesn't look like everything
It
else.
doesn't look like and we've got the 12.3-inch screen, which is not standard. 8 inches standard. And you know what else is that now it's a touch screen. So it's a combination between
The trackpad.
That's right, and the touch screen, which I think is a good compromise because there were some complaints about how it was kind of glitchy at times or clunky.
Yeah, you had to sort of scroll between things. Now here's the number one reason why they went to a touchscreen hybrid system. What's everybody wanting in their cars when the infotainment system? Android and Apple.
Yeah.
And what has Lexus finally added?
Standard.
Android and Apple. So you need that touch screen to interface with those control systems. That's why they've gone to this. Audi's done the same thing. They've gone to a touchscreen now because they want Android and Apple integration. But they delayed so long in adding all of that stuff in there. At least they've upgraded this to include that, right?
And super important. And when you look at the materials in here, they're quite nice. You can tell that you are in a more luxury vehicle when it comes to storage. The compartments are pretty good. What I like about this side storage is that you can pull out.
Yeah, it folds out.
How great is that to make it bigger?
Do you know my old Porsche had that from the 90s?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, well, you didn't drive it because it was manual. This vehicle has been made in Canada for a long time, and it was the original sort of luxury crossover. Before everybody else came out with utilities in the luxury space, Lexus was in this, taking a car and making it into something more, but it still has its car roots, right?
It does. And can you believe this is the 4th generation? This car has been around a long time. and it's a big seller for Lexus.
It's their best seller.
And good for them. It has an interior that is quite beautiful. It's got all the stitching, different looking as we discussed, kind of like a flat surface here. And I'm a big fan of this sort of a screen. I know some people like it integrated. I like the look of it.
The back seat is really quite roomy. I would say on size, it kind of competes like with a Ford Edge or a Grand Cherokee, right? It's the classic mid-size utility with seating for 5. Now you can get the 5+2 7-seater. It's not really the space champion. That's just there for if you really need the extra seats. Most people configure it like this. And with the seats, the 2-row situation, the cargo space is big. And speaking about finish, like even the inside of the cargo area is nicely finished. And look, big panel roof.
I know, I love that, and I've got it open today, aren't I lucky?
Oh, here's the thing is this car comes with heated steering wheel and heated and ventilated seats as standard equipment. That's pretty good.
That's great.
And you get the power liftgate in the back as standard equipment.
There's a lot of value there, isn't there?
Hey, wait a second. Am I going to get a chance to drive? So for 2020, they did these modest updates. You mentioned the in-dash technology and some minor changes to the outside. They didn't change the engine. I think it's got a pretty good engine, 295 horsepower, the 3.5 liter. But I want to talk about this sort of latest generation when they introduced this sharper look a few years ago. Before the Lexus RX, it was a good vehicle in that it was going to always be reliable, right?
Sure.
It was a Lexus. It had, useful space and all that, but it was never really ever a contender when it came to having a spirited drive. And the other thing is that the previous model, in my opinion, was really quite noisy. And so when this latest model came out, they fixed a lot of those things, and we're just wait for the light to go. I think we can. There's a Corolla here. I think we can take the Corolla.
I think we'd be okay there, and we're off. Yeah. You know what I was going to say too, that the cabin noise, there isn't any. It's very quiet.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is the previous generation, it was good. It just wasn't a great vehicle in that way. It was kind of noisy. It wasn't that refined on the inside. This was a major step forward. Now, don't kid yourself. This is not the sportiest of the utilities in the marketplace.
Absolutely not.
But if you do want a slightly sportier edge, you really kind of need to get the F-Sport version that we're in here.
And I also think that the RX is a unique vehicle because you get the cargo space that you need, but it feels like you're driving a car. You don't sit up as high. So I think I can see the draw, why consumers really like it and why it sells so well.
Yeah. Now they have different tiers for the F-Sport model, and we're in the top one. And it is a couple of things that you could live with and some that you might really want. Like I know you like the panel roof.
Yes.
So you would go for that, but I could care less. The other thing is a head-up display. The speedometer broadcast onto the windshield. I could live without that.
Me too.
But there's one thing that you need to basically get the top model in order to get, and that's the wireless charging pad. And for what they're charging for this car, I wish they made that in lower price vehicles.
I think it should be standard in this day and age for cell phones. Come on.
No, you got to pay top money to get that.
That's not impressive.
Now, one thing is, we haven't even touched on it. We're just talking about the regular gasoline model. This is also available as a hybrid, right?
Yes.
And that really opened up the sales of this product to a lot of different potential buyers. Those who wanted just a straightforward, good gasoline utility vehicle. And then they had the high efficiency hybrid and they have the F-Sport that's available in both. So you can get the hybrid and you can get the F-Sport. Would that interest you? Could I get you into one of those with low monthly payments, Mrs.
Maybe
Spencer?
So. Maybe so, maybe so. Especially, we're all trying to be environmentally friendly, so why not?
Well, maybe you are.
He really is. I'm forcing it on him. So let's talk about towing capacity too. 3,500 pounds. It is camping season. And with COVID-19, no one's flying.
Yeah, but 3,500 pounds in a midsize utility is not anywhere near the top. Most are 5,000. A couple have 6,000 pound towing capacity, so that is not shooting the lights out.
No, but I think if you look at the vehicle and what it has to offer, it's not bad. It's not a huge vehicle.
Yeah, if you had a couple of jet skis or something you wanted to tow, that's fine.
It's not bad.
Okay, how much do you think this thing costs?
I'm going to put it at about $65,000.
Well, this one, the F Sport starts at $65,000, but you can get a Lexus RX base model for $56,000. But on the opposite is true. This is sort of like the top tier of F Sport.
Right.
They have different sort of levels, and this one is just under $70,000.
Yeah, it's a bit pricey, isn't it? Overall, there's good value with the base model at $56,000. You've got a well-made vehicle. You know it's dependable.
It's a Lexus.
It's a Lexus.
Great resale.
You've got the luxury and the resale.
So if we were shopping for a Lexus RX350, I think we would go for the F Sport.
We are very fussy about the drive, and I'm not sure I could drive any of the other trim levels. I think I would prefer the Sport.
Car Cost Canada provides the dealer's cost, a list of rebates, plus discounted interest rates. Use the promo code MOTORMOUTH to become an expert member and get access to exclusive and powerful savings. The link is in the description below.